the owners of HiAnime, the biggest pirate anime site of all time, have been arrested. The news is completely real and has shocked many anime fans worldwide. Heads up, 7 people have been arrested in Vietnam for allegedly operating the anime piracy site HiAnime. Authorities say the group managed more than 100 websites and generated nearly $13 million in advertising revenue. $13 million in 2 years? Or 3 years, I think? Something like that. I mean, just imagine the craziness, the amount of money these people made. Now, in fact, here it says, the creators of HiAnime have been officially arrested in Vietnam after an international investigation that lasted several years. One of the biggest piracy websites in the world surpassed Crunchyroll in web traffic between 2024 and 2025. The website was recently shut down in March 2026. I imagine they shut it down because they knew they were already being tracked. I mean, they were already getting close, right? That whole thing is just crazy, totally crazy, and a lot of money. And by the way, 7 people were arrested, and these are the guys right here. Just look at him. Yeah, I think the same about this guy. He doesn't seem to regret anything. It looks like he enjoyed it until the end. Well, it turns out they were spread out in 2 cities, in Hanoi and in Ho Chi Minh, which, just so you know, are in the north. I mean, Hanoi is all the way in the north of Vietnam, while Ho Chi Minh is in the south of the country. That is, both cities are very far from each other, but it's known that they did this to throw off the authorities who were looking for them. Now, let's look at this. Ha ha ha, these 2 don't regret anything. Exactly, I mean, these guys were having a great time. Now, let's see what they tell us here.
A couple of days ago, the owners and operators of the biggest anime site of all time were arrested in Vietnam.
The biggest of all time. Incredible.
And Crunchyroll was laughing about it. They were cheering this on because these 7 geniuses managed something called HiAnime, which surpassed Disney Plus and Crunchyroll together.
But what the hell? HiAnime surpassed Disney Plus. I mean, we can't even grasp the level of greatness of that page, of that website that surpassed Disney Plus. That's crazy, that's crazy.
But they didn't just run HiAnime, they managed over 100 other piracy sites, uploaded more than 26,000 unlicensed movies, and generated around $12.85 million. And remember, that was the biggest anime piracy site of all time.
Here's a peculiar thing, really crazy, that's worth clarifying. These guys did all of this on their own. I mean, 7 people were responsible for this. Just 7 people, and they worked remotely. I mean, they didn't work in a single place. Let me remind you, they did this mainly to throw people off. Right? But this craziness is unbelievable.
But if it only generated 12.8 million, then how did the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry of Japan calculate a loss of $37 billion every year? 12.8 million, $37 billion.
Well, I imagine that they estimate the potential losses. That's what I think. That's what I believe. Now, obviously, it's nonsense because let's be clear about this, right? Let's be clear. Japan's ministry talks about potential losses, meaning what they didn't earn because of piracy. But they're leaving out one thing here, which is that the person who consumes pirated content is someone who isn't willing to buy or consume the original product. Anyway, in any case, do you get what I mean? I mean, it's nonsense. Japan's ministry is being stupid. Let's continue now.
What? But yeah, Crunchyroll loves it when piracy sites get shut down because they themselves used to be a piracy site, laughing and applauding when another piracy site gets shut down. And when HiAnime was shut down, their subscriber numbers shot up to 21 million, and even then, they're still being outperformed by Netflix, specifically in anime.
That's Crunchyroll's level. Amazing.
Only in anime, nothing else, worldwide. Because 50 out of the 300 million viewers they have watch anime. Many believe that Crunchyroll surpasses Netflix in anime. Sailing the high seas beats them all, but not to the tune of 37 billion. Even though there are 12.8 million, these legends risk 3 years in prison and even being extradited to Japan with up to 10 more years and fines of 1 million yen.
It's crazy. I mean, 3 years in prison in Vietnam, and once they serve that sentence, they're going to be extradited to Japan even though they're from Vietnam, but they're going to send them to Japan to lock them up for another 10 years in prison. By the way, hey Japan, where are your priorities? I mean, I wonder, are they really that worried about looking for someone who lives in a country that's 7 hours away by plane, 7.5 hours, even if it doesn't seem like it? I mean, are they really that worried about that instead of focusing on improving the safety of their own people? Because I'm saying this because some very peculiar, very curious things have been happening in Japan. We're seeing how the Japanese are getting more fed up every day, more and more angry with the issue of these annoying tourists and with some immigrants who just don't seem to adapt to Japanese culture. Where are Japan's priorities, I wonder? To the point that there are Japanese people who say the following: the Japanese government uses Interpol to search every corner of the earth to arrest you if you host a pirate anime and manga site. Look, let's be clear, this wasn't just any pirate site, it wasn't just any site, it was the biggest of all time in all of history. I mean, that's the level of HiAnime, or it was the level of HiAnime. It wasn't just any site. It has to be said. But yeah, I get it, the searching part. Well, but if you build an illegal mosque in Japan and burn down an ancient Shinto shrine, they can't find where you are. Those are the questions you ask yourself, right? Why do they give this such a huge priority, even with help from Interpol? But other issues, other cases, they're slow, they do nothing. It's ridiculous, but that's how these people work. In fact, there are people here who say those guys should move to Mexico. Here, nobody goes after anyone for piracy, and there are plenty of places to hide. I agree, but there's one thing you have to understand. In Mexico, a Wi-Fi or internet connection as powerful as the one these guys needed is hard to get. It's complicated, plus it's very expensive and unstable. Vietnam is the complete opposite. Vietnam has one of the top 10 Wi-Fi connections in the world. I mean, that says it all. That's why it's no coincidence that these guys were able to operate without any problems. I mean, it's not a coincidence, but yeah, it's kind of crazy, kind of insane that the Japanese government, together with Interpol and the Vietnamese government, focused on these 7 nerds. They had their pirated stuff here, right? It's incredible, but well, it's a matter of priorities, don't you think? So gentlemen, thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.